were asking questions about the, actually a lot of people had concerns about, they don't want to go because they miss us so much already. And how to keep the practice going, because you guys are on an extremely good high right now, and how do you take that with you and continue to implement it into your life, okay? So we're gonna start with the cold. I'm gonna hand it over to Heather, and she's gonna do some theory.
Okay, so we're also going to do questions afterwards because we don't want to keep everyone here for a really super long time. So if you have questions after we've bashed through this in half an hour, because we're time ninjas, aren't we, Dan?
That's right.
If you have questions, come to us one-on-one, and we are very happy to answer any questions you have. Happy? Yeah. Healthy? Yes. Strong?
Yes.
Great. Okay, let's start. Hands up if you're in the wolf pack. Oh, yeah, the wolf pack. Nice, sexy bunch. So you guys have heard some of this stuff already. Also, a lot of you have heard a lot of the science behind cold exposure with Wim's amazing Q&A just now. So what we're not aiming to do is necessarily give you new information. We're trying to help you retain it. Yeah, and one of the best ways to retain information and learn something new is to teach it. So those of you who I know have heard some of these concepts before, I'm going to ask you to explain them. Okay, raise your hand if you would like to explain why cold exposure is good circulatory system training. Come here, Martin. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Take this thing.
We have 30 minutes. Be German. Come on.
That's the only one I kind of remember. So I think it's those veins and stuff that runs through the body 2.5 times around the world. Closer to my mouth. And it's like muscles that compress those veins and arteries, and those muscles need to be trained, and that's what we do by cold exposure. I think that was it.
Teacher's pet, you get an apple later. So vasoconstriction happens in the cold, vasodilation when you get out. It's like training a muscle. Vasoconstriction and dilation helps you improve your circulatory system, which we all need. Because what is the number one cause of death? Cardiovascular disease. Amazing. Cool. We've turned this into a game show somehow. Raise your hand if you'd like to talk about why cold exposure is good homeostasis training.
What's homeostasis?
Well, you're probably not the one to explain this. Run. German efficiency, yeah.
The Greek god.
So homeostasis is the ability of the body to have a stable internal environment. So when we get outside in the cold, the cold is a stress, right? And the body needs to survive and have a stable physiological function in order to become strong and then not lose control. So when we do the top-down regulation, right, we are able to maintain our bodily functions in a balanced state between sympathetic and parasympathetic. So we have homeostasis, okay?
Great God right there. Okay, homeostasis training. So this also, we talked about how this associates as well, the homeostasis training, with the breathing too. So with the cold, what happens with the homeostasis is we're learning to regulate our temperature, right? So in Europe, we tend to control the environment instead of allowing our bodies to adapt. So what we actually want to do is do what humans do best, which is adapt to the environment, allow ourselves to go into the cold and warm up without sauna, without external heat sources, without going inside and warming up, allowing our internal systems to warm up on their own, because we have inside us, everyone, a deep, beautiful inner fire, yeah? And how this associates to homeostasis with the breathing is because Wim was talking about it before, the breathing takes us into a state of transient alkalosis, right? Alkaline state. And what we really want for our bodies to be is a pH neutral balance. The fact is most of us are acidic because we're hungover. Raise your hand if you're hungover. Hungover, eating too much meat, stressed out, processed foods, yada, yada, yada. So most of us stress our bodies in the acidic, and so breathing pushes it into the alkaline state, which allows us to stress our bodies in the opposite way, training us to come back to neutral. Make sense? Happy? Cool. All right, who would like to explain how Cold exposure elicits a positive stress response in the body and the brain. Raise your hand. Positive stress response. I'll give you a clue. Endorphins.
It's hormonal. It's hormonal response.
Do you want to explain it? Come on.
No, I don't speak good English, so.
You speak perfect English. Come on.
So, what I understand for positive stress response, for me, it's all endocrine system are like a volcano in our brain. When we train ourselves about the breathing and the cold water, all substance about hormone, I can't tell you all hormones, how that's moved in your body, but I understand that the brain and the system, hormonal system, inject in our body all hormonal, good hormone, to feel balance in our body and to improve all the systems, lymphatic systems, nervous systems, vascular systems. That's what I understand.
Yeah? I'm gonna find the ones of you that have a rice on your feet. I've heard about it. Anyway, so yes, positive stress response, right? Your body interprets the cold as a noxious thing. It goes, oh, this is painful, this is dangerous, you're probably going to die. So I'm gonna make sure that when you do die, probably, that you go out feeling good. So your body goes, good, I'm gonna give you some endorphins, I'm gonna give you some like good stuff to make you feel lovely and happy, woo! So that when you die, it's a good experience. And then you get out, and you're like, holy shit, I feel great, and I'm alive. What is life, right? So it elicits a positive stress response, including endorphins and dopamine and all that stuff, which is why a lot of people have managed their symptoms of depression and anxiety simply with cold exposure, right? Cold exposure can really kickstart some of those hormones flooding the brain that sometimes some people are not able to produce or as well on their own, yeah? So if you marry that, this positive stress response in the cold with the breathing, then we've got something seriously fucking incredible, right? Because breathing is also a sympathetic nervous system stimulator. The breathing can also be a little stressful on the body, right? And even though it's a little bit stressful, what happens at the end? You feel fucking amazing, right? Cool. Who would like to explain why cold exposure elicits a positive stress adaptation? So, kind of giving you a little clue here. What we mean by that is putting yourself in a state of stress to help you manage stress. Who would like to explain that? Someone else. Come on. Nice leggings.
So as far as I understood, for instance, if you do muscle training, you don't do it 24 hours, you just do it maybe 20 minutes and then you stress your muscles, but then you give yourself some time to relax, and then your muscle is able to adapt after a certain amount of days. And as far as I understood, it's the same with this kind of stuff, that you just, you're not 24 hours in an ice bath, you're just there for maybe 4 minutes or 5 minutes, and then you're out again, and then your body has time to adapt to it. So it's a kind of positive stress, because what is a negative stress, it would be chronical, which means like all the time. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
There's something called cross-sensitization, right, that happens when you're stressed. If you're putting yourself on purpose into the cold and you stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, but then through your deep breathing and your relaxed state of mind, the mindset that we're really going to talk about, you activate this parasympathetic nervous system. So you're getting into the parasympathetic while in a sympathetic nervous system state. So what happens then? You're learning to relax in a state of stress. Relaxing in a state of stress. Crazy. And so what happens is with the cross-sensitization, next time that you're in a state of stress, you're able to relax through it. You know how that works. Your body has already worked that out. You get a shitty email from your boss and you don't go, you're like, maybe I'll just take a deep breath. Yeah? So that cross-sensitization happens in the cold, but it also happens exactly the same way with the breathing, right? So if anyone's ever had a panic attack, it looks a little bit like hyperventilation, doesn't it? But what we do is controlled hyperventilation. You put yourself in that situation, you know how to get yourself out of it. So that means next time you feel really stressed, really anxious, you feel those feelings of like hyperventilation coming on, you know exactly how to turn it off because you've done it many, many times before.
Just to add to that, you have the three parts of your brain, right? So you have the reptilian brain, the mammalian, and then our human brain. This one's 40 million years old. And this is the one that we want to listen to and let it do the innate intelligence thing. So when you get into the ice bath, it is this hormetic stressor. Throughout your day, you're doing the same kind of thing. You're stressing yourself with these 50,000 thoughts. But the reptilian brain, it's 40 million years old, it still goes back to thinking that you're being chased by a tiger. Every thought that comes in that gives you stress, it can't tell that that's not a physical stress, the emotional stress, right? So now you go into this ice bath and you're able to go into this stressor that the reptilian brain thinks, holy shit, the tiger's on me now and he's actually eating me. I'm gonna release all these things and I'm gonna handle this stress. So the cross-adaptation or cross-sensitization is that when you're now the next day at work and your boss that you don't like comes up and starts to say something to you and he walks away and you go, oh shit, I'm not pissed off. That's the cross-adaptation because it's self-efficacy. All of a sudden you guys give yourself the ability to go into the most stressful thing in the world, an ice bath, even though it's not dangerous, the body and the reptilian brain thinks so and wants to survive. And now that it's survived this, when you go back into your daily life and those little piddly thoughts that keep running around, the reptilian brain goes, well that's really nothing. Do you understand? So this starts to give us this ability to cross-adapt the training here into the training in the world out there. Because the reptilian brain doesn't know the difference, and you're going to teach it the difference. You're also going to teach yourself that you're stronger than you think. Happy, healthy, and strong. When you get into the ice bath, you're going to feel happy because you're releasing the endocannabinoids, the opioids. You're allowing, because when you jump into the ice bath, and you guys know about the Titanic, right? There was a study done on the Titanic, and did you know that most people did not die of hypothermia? Most people died of shock. Because when they fell into the water, they started to go, and they choked on the water, or they passed out from hyperventilation, woke up in the water, and then they died. When we get into the ice bath, the breathing prepares you guys. And your adrenaline's up, you're feeling good, you feel powerful, and all of a sudden the ice bath, when you get in, there's no huge spike of adrenaline. The adrenaline's already up there, like you're jumping from a bungee jump, okay? And that's what it showed in Radboud. When they tested Wim, he had the adrenaline of somebody that's in the rest of the participants that were jumping out of doing a bungee jump, but they didn't feel the stress. So then when you get into the ice bath, you control the response by going, as soon as you calm down, that's the opportunity to go into flow, because you're tapping into the reptilian brain that's releasing all of the things you need to survive. The emotional brain, you guys, wants to take over in the bath. And if it takes over, you're gonna go, holy shit, it's cold. Holy shit, it's cold. And you're gonna actually make it worse. Now, when you're in the ice bath, and we were talking about it before, is this mindset training, you guys, the breathing is the opportunity to meditate. The ice bath is the opportunity to meditate. So we have 3 pillars, and always remember that when you leave this room. You have cold exposure, breathing, and mindset. If we just go for the high, then we just go for the high. The high gives us the ability to train this thing, to not be emotional, to let go of the 50,000 thoughts, to let go of all the fears, to be able to be as strong as we really truly are inside. And Wim talks about the innate intelligence that you are. The most important intelligence in the world, you guys, isn't artificial. It's the one that you have inside. And this method, especially the cold exposure, is going to show you that. Now, to just go in a little bit of the practical, the chemicals are released, but there's also a very important thing that helps with the autoimmune issues. Okay, and I think I'll finish with the practical this way. When they tested Wynn's blood, or they test any of our blood, and your guys is the same thing, is they're going to notice these cytokines, okay? And these are proteins in your blood that try to regulate disease. But we get overstressed and we get all the inflammation ones up, okay? There's two kinds. There's an anti-inflammatory one too, but it's down. So once you're into the ice bath and you get out, the anti-inflammatory ones go up and the inflammatory cytokines come down. So you start to take inflammation out of the system. And you guys know how much that's important. Because everything's about stress this day and age, too much stimulation, everything's being thrown at you. And what happens? We stress. All the studies, Harvard, Stanford, 95% of your diseases are coming from stress. This helps us with the stress. So to just finish off, you guys, is that good enough or what?
One last one.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, one final opportunity for you guys to learn in the most efficient way possible, which is by teaching. Who would like to describe or explain this lovely, beautiful graph drawn by someone really talented? What is a hormetic stressor? Why is cold exposure a hormetic stressor? Raise your hand. Let's do this fast. Come on, Esther. Woo! She's a good student. This is going to be amazing. You should take notes.
Yes, it will take some discipline to do our exercise every day. There are two levels. We have the intensity and we have the time. When you take a cold shower, it's different than when you jump into the river. And there's also the time that you do the exercises. On one day you can do it better than the other day. You have to feel it. Don't think about it. When you can do it 10 minutes today and tomorrow it feels like 2 minutes, just stop. Use your common sense. It's very important not to think about it. I have to do it for 6 minutes, I have to do it, but feel it. And sometimes when you do it too long, it has an effect till a certain moment, but when you do it too long, it will be negative for your healthy. So please use your common sense.
So Esther's exactly right. You have benefit over time, right? A hormetic stressor is something that gives you a huge amount of benefit over a short period of time. A short period of time, yeah? And a hormetic stressor is something that then gets into weakening and it can kill you for a long period, after a long period of time. So 4 hours in an ice bath will kill you. 4 minutes in an ice bath will probably give you some benefits, yeah? Does that make sense? So if we look at this graph, you can see that the benefit is really, really high in a short period of time. Then you get into diminishing returns, and then you get into weakening, yeah? So we really want to make sure that we stay, when we talk about cold exposure, in the strengthening part. The strengthening part is what's important. When we go too long, we get into weakening, and then we burn ourselves out. I hear time and time again from instructors that they were blitzing the ice bath, getting really competitive with themselves, and then they totally burnt out. Okay, so what's really, really key, just as Esther was saying, is that you listen to your bodies, right? This week here has been amazing, but it's been an experience. We want you to feel, okay, I'm capable of so much more than I thought I was. That doesn't mean we want you to go mountain climbing every day in your shorts, yeah? So from here on in, you start from scratch and you go, right, what is my cold exposure today? How much can I take? And note how you feel every day. Note how you feel, because we don't want you to get into weakening. And unfortunately, we're not normal medical doctors, right? We're in the business of nature healing. So we can't give you a prescription. You have to create that prescription for yourself. And the best way to create that prescription for yourself is to try, build up really, really slowly, and monitor your progress, monitor how you're feeling. You will start to know when you get into that weakening sensation. You will know if you're listening to your body. If you're just recording your times on an app and competing with other people, you're not listening to your body, and your body is your guru, your body is your doctor, your body will tell you what you need if you listen.
Just to kind of close out that and close this out, you guys, keep it short because we've been sitting too long. I like to say, and it was somebody told it to me, and it really, really, really hit a spot. More isn't better, better is better, and better can lead to more. So I want you to get really good at breathing, but get really good at the ice bath. And that means to listen. Okay? The listening gives you that conscious feeling, that thing that takes you inside. If we're just thinking about competition and pushing things, we're not listening to the body. We're looking at the clock. And even today I saw a couple of people lifting it up going like this. For the retention, let that go, guys. Myself, I've done it really slowly, a little bit each time, a few more seconds each week. And I still only do 3 to 4 minutes in the ice bath. And I take my 5-minute cold showers, and in Canada, it's fucking cold showers. But I did go through the phase where I pushed. Don't do that. So more is better, more isn't better, better is better, and better leads to more. Get really good at preparing for the ice bath with your breath work. Get really good at being in the ice bath and trying to go into the state of flow and just feeling. And then really get really, really good, you guys, at warming up after. Don't jump out and just feel like this and run to work with all of that energy. See, all of these things that you've learned this week give you the opportunity to train this thing. That's the end result. It's not the feeling. The feeling gives you the ability to feel. But it's that feeling that allows you to now go inside and then train your mind. Because the mind is the problem. It's the stress, and it's keeping us out of our bodies. It's keeping us out of that happiness. And once we feel the happiness, which you guys are feeling now, a lot of you last night were coming up to me going, I don't want to go. Like, what can we do? But mindset is very important. You should have lots of mindset. You already have the method and the means. So let's focus on the mindset, you guys, when we leave here today. And the mindset is taking 5 minutes each day. If you don't feel like doing 20, 30 minutes of breathing, you don't feel like getting into maybe a little bit more of a power breath like we did today, guess what? Do 1 round. But honestly, you'll start to feel good and you'll go, okay, I can do another one. But it's the mind and the ego is going to want to let you, it's going to want to make you go like this. I'm okay over here. And it's going to try to think of a million things to circumvent and take you out of what you should be doing for yourself because you guys have been conditioned. Okay? And we talk about the conditioning. However old you are, your age right now, think of it. Up until this day, you've been conditioned to be like other people. Your parents, schools, they told you what this is the way it's going to be. This is who you're supposed to be. But this week, you guys learned a little bit about yourself. There were so many emotional releases today, including myself. And actually all of us. All of us teachers, thank you. You guys said thank you to us. We thank you. Because we're learning, and we're so lucky to be in this position to come here and heal. I was nervous to come here, you guys. I've been doing this for 3 years, teaching. I'm nervous. But I'm also vulnerable now, and I want to learn from you guys. We learned a lot from you guys this week. And that's my mindset now, is that we're not any better than any of you. We know very little more than you, but we practice it. And like Wim says, like, go all this shit after we tell you, because it's the car, you don't need to know how it's running, you can drive it. You've been in a fixed mindset your whole life. Everybody's telling you who you are. You need to have the creative mindset now. How many of you had thoughts today going, oh my God, this is what I'm gonna fucking do now? How many? How many made changes in their mind today? But guess what your mind's gonna do? The mind is Teflon, slippery for the positive, and it's Velcro for the negative. And is that not true? Right? You don't wake up in the middle of the night going, oh my God, that was great tonight. Oh, and then go back to sleep. You wake up going, oh fucking boss, I'm fucking this, fucking that. And then you don't sleep, and you wake up feeling like shit. And then you wake up feeling like shit, and what do? Oh, I don't want to breathe, I feel like shit, I'll just go get a coffee. But you don't. 5 minutes, you guys, a day. Fixed mindset is telling you all your life you're beautiful, or you're a genius, or this or that, and then what happens? when you fail that test or you don't feel beautiful, your identity is taken away from you, it's crushed. But that's the old way of thinking that you guys had. There's a new way now. And the way is this. Human potential, you guys, goes like this. If you start to say, this is what I am, I'm Catholic, I'm this, I'm that, nothing against religions. But you create a ceiling, and in that ceiling there's a death. Because now you believe there's nothing else. People have been telling you this your whole life. This is who you are, this is what you're supposed to think, this is what you're doing. Get a job, go to school, do something you don't want to do, whatever. And then all of a sudden, you're stuck. And you wonder, you guys come here and breathe, it opens up. And then you feel like, oh my God, I'm going to do this. And see, that thought you had today that was so positive, when you leave here and you get back to the real world and you're not in this kind of energy, it's going to want to pull you down. But that's not who you are now. You have a different identity, which is no identity. Who you are is happy, healthy, and strong. The trajectory goes up like this. Human potential never ends because you have the opportunity to continue to learn, to grow, and to be the best version of who you want to be. This method teaches you guys that so fast, but you have to do it every day. 5 minutes. Now, what do we have? Let's see stuff. Show them a little example. So you don't feel like getting a bunch of ice. You don't have a chest freezer. You don't want to jump into the ice bath that day. But there's things that you can do that you don't have to really have any kind of thought to. Go out in your t-shirt and your flip-flops. Even if, like Wim said, 15 degrees. It's still a hormetic stress. The blood vessels, the capillaries, all these things are working. Just step in the cold. I love going out in my bare feet. And in Canada, it's -20, but I'll just sit there, and I'm just squeezing my toes, and I'm just feeling fucking cold. Then I look, and I take a few breaths, and I'm blown away by nature, because this gives me this rush. That's how I wake up. Neighbors are probably going, what the fuck is that guy doing? Because see, I don't care about what others think, and that's the other thing, is that we're stuck in what other people think about us. That's a disease. That keeps us from going on. Cold showers.
Sleep in the cold.
Oh, sleep in the cold. I thought I said step out in the cold. Sleep in the cold. Yeah.
So your hands are really good markers for sensitivity. If your hands are outside of the duvet and you can sleep there comfortably with your hands outside of the duvet, it's not cold enough. You want your hands to need to be inside the duvet. When they're inside, you're all warm and snuggly, then that's the level that you want to get to. You also get a really cute little cold nose, which is fun in the morning when you wake up.
So the chest freezer is really good. You guys have been asking me about that, and I even showed some of the other instructors that I graduated with. I went and bought one for $50 Canadian, which is about 30 euros, I guess, from a second-hand store. It has a little drain in the bottom. It's about this big, about that high, and you fill it up with water. You plug it in, and in 24 hours, it's at 2 degrees, about 36, and there's ice on the top. You break up the ice, actually unplug it before you break up the ice and get in, because it might be an older model. Right? We want to feel the electricity, but not that one.
So Dominic had a really great suggestion as well. You could add salt to the water to make it even colder, so you can go below 0 degrees. Fun.
And just about the colder, once you even get 1 degree, you're at like 32, and then -1, and then in -2 up to -4, I think somebody was saying. Each degree, you're gonna feel it even more. Okay, so it's not about getting too cold, it's about just stressing, like we said before. So cold yoga, actually, Wim loves to do it now, and he calls it snoga. You know, track your progress, guys, and listen to your body. Write things down, journal. At the end of the night, go to bed and journal about all the good shit you did that day. Especially seeing as how you did this, that's going to give you more power inside, happiness, health, and strength. You'll go to bed with that in your head. You're going to sleep better. But I want to finish it off, guys. This is how you do this method. When you get out of your cold bath and you finish your breathing, You finish your horse stance after you've warmed up. You finished your breathing. You don't even do your cold that day. But after both, sit down and meditate. I don't give a shit what kind of meditation you do, but you sit down and you feel, you watch your thoughts, because in those moments, it creates the chemistry, the cold and the breathing that allows you, like Wim said today, in just some breathing, he has a deeper understanding and mindfulness that these mindfulness coaches and these people for 4 hours do a day. And you guys were deeper than any of them ever went, and they're 20, 30 years doing it. Okay? So the cold and the breath is the opportunity to change everything. Don't leave that out. I work with so many people that end up calling me back going, it's not working, I'm feeling like shit, I feel anxiety again, and then they're leaving completely out the mindset, you guys. The ability to change because the chemistry is there, because it's so hard. People come into my center and it's yoga and meditation. I don't sit anybody down and go, okay, now just sit there and forget about stuff and just watch the flow and all this shit. Because if somebody comes in that's an overworked CEO or somebody that has anxiety, I sit them down and in 2 minutes they want to jump out the window. They breathe and they're like, holy shit. Then you can sit down. So use them to train your mind, you guys. That will make this work. Okay? Often we make the mistake of just getting the high. And I know it says it right here. It's a wonderful shirt. Go out and buy one. I know everybody's been asking me where you get them. You get them on the website. I'm selling Planner Fire.
They sold out.
What did we miss some years with this point? Nordic Risotto.
Okay, so we pointed at Nordic risotto. Who from the Wolfpack would like to explain what the Nordic risotto is? Beth is smiling at me. Come on, up, Beth. She makes public speaking, so just transmit your love to her while she's speaking. Transmit your love.
It's just putting your hands and feet in the cold water for like 2 minutes.
Does risotto only takes 2 minutes?
It's a starter before your main course, so you can do it to like get prepped. Yeah.
Beautiful. Nordic risotto is the hands and feet are the hardest to train because they get really, really, really cold. So sometimes if you want to, rather than getting a whole chest freeze and doing the whole thing shebang, just get a bowl, put some ice in it and some water, put your hands in for 2 minutes, and then warm them up and see how that feels. It's really good for circulation. Cool. Closing it up with Jen.
You guys are the most powerful thing on the planet, okay? Modern technology is taking us away from the intelligence that we are. We're the most beautiful thing that is walking around in this planet. We have this innate intelligence and we're not able to let it do what it's supposed to do. We're not conscious anymore. And because of the modern condition, I love technology, you guys, but we're letting it use us. We're not using it. Let your screens go. Just realize that the distraction is what they want. They want us to think that, no, you're not good enough. Let's just keep going over here. You guys are all good enough. You guys felt everything this week that you needed to feel, I'm pretty sure. And it was beautiful to watch you guys absolutely evolve. And the stories that I heard and the ability for all of us to heal from you and watching a lot of you guys heal here. And even if you don't think that you got everything you needed, this was the starting point. It's only the beginning, you guys. You know, Wim's gonna come and he's gonna take you again. Remember the energy when he takes you down there today, or with whatever happens, or whatever he's gonna do.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Even when he doesn't know right now. But it's the feelings, guys, and be conscious of the feelings. Because we're not conscious anymore, we're distracted. We're being pulled away at every corner, too much stimulation. But we can live in that world fine, guys. There's just a balance. This gives you the balance to be who you are and take back control and take back your power, okay? That's all I have to say.